Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge, and your help, we can save them all.
Thank you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. We had a great weekend at the Sylacauga Animal Shelter, so if you're interested in coming out to walk dogs, we're there every weekend from 11 to 1. But we also have an added grooming station that the shelter just got last week, and we had some volunteers put it together on Saturday. We're able to wash about 6 or 7 dogs, so those dogs are really enjoying getting clean and then going out and getting dirty again on the walks. But if you'd like to come out, there's so many dogs to meet, and we have our Pet of the Week, which is a dog called Sugar. Sugar has been there for about 5 months. She came to the shelter as a 2-month-old puppy, and she's growing up there. But all of the walkers that come and walk her have fallen in love with her. And so she's still a very young dog, and she is really sweet. And so if you're interested in coming out to meet her or the many, many adolescent dogs that we have out there, we have quite a few puppies that are growing up there at the shelter, and we would desperately love to find them a home. So come on out to meet Sugar. And then on top of that, with all of the dogs, the shelter staff does such a beautiful job taking care of the dogs out there. There are around 150 dogs right now that they're trying to manage and figure out what to do. And we've had litters of puppies dropped off at the shelter, and the shelter has no space. So we're looking for fosters. We're looking for anybody that can help us. The shelter's running out of food for these puppies, but they had 14 that were dumped on them yesterday. And sadly, we've got a lot of puppies in this area that people are finding, and all of our foster systems are full right now. So if you're interested to become a foster, the shelter or Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, our local rescue, will provide all of the supplies. And we just really need some help right now. We've got some pictures of the puppies. These puppies are very cute and very adoptable. They just need some place to go, and the shelter's not a great place for them to grow up. But these are some of the ones that were brought in yesterday, and we've got a litter of 6 with these little yellow puppies, and then we've got another crate that was just left at the shelter. So please try to help with the situation instead of hurting the situation. The shelter didn't have any space, and this cage was just left outside the door. So we just really need some help right now. That'd be great. But we also have a lot of events going on in town. If you can't get out to the shelter to help with this situation, we've got the Marble Fest going on. We've got all kinds of things where you can bring your dog out for a dog-friendly event. We've got 30 sculptors set up at Central Park. We've got our visiting sculptor from Italy, Desiree Pucci. And then we've got Food Truck Friday happening Friday night. So all dogs are welcome on leashes, but you can come out to these events. And there are plenty of things to do around town. That's why I've invited our guest on today, because we have such a wonderful trail system here where you can go with your dog or without your dog. But I wanted Nathan Wright from the Pinhoti Outdoor Center to join us today, and we can talk trails.
Absolutely. That's a great place to take a dog. Absolutely.
So tell us about the Pinhoti. I know there are some people that still don't know much about it, even though you and Kim are doing a great job getting the word out.
Well, that's right. It always surprises us. But the Pinhoti started, 40-something years ago. A lot of people associate it with around Cheehaw, but it's actually 350 miles. It starts at Flag Mountain down in Weguffka.
So right here next door.
It goes northeast up past Sylacauga, Talladega, Cheehaw, Heflin, Piedmont, into Cave Spring, Georgia, through Dalton, up, and it ends in right above Ellijay, Georgia.
Okay.
Into the trail system up there. It terminates into the Benton MacKaye Trail. You can take a ride on the Benton MacKaye, go 72 miles, hit the Appalachian Trail, and go all the way to Maine.
So are there a lot of people now that are doing the Appalachian Trail but then want to add the Pinhoti to it and start at Flag?
Both ways. We have folks that are starting up in Maine and coming all the way down and finishing at Flag. We have a lot of people that start at Flag and go all the way to Maine. We call that the Bama to Baxter challenge. And then it's actually part of a bigger trail system that starts in Key West and goes to North Canada. And we see 25 to 30 folks a year doing that. It's amazing. Doing the
entire trail. Do they do it all at one time, or do a lot of people do it in pieces?
Yeah, these do. They'll start sometime in early, mid-December, and they'll show up here sometime in late January, and then they continue on through and try to finish before the end of the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hiking.
5,500 miles. But the Pinhoti is a big part of that. It's really cool to see these people come through. And, you know, we've had a lot of internationals this year and over the past few years come and hike the Pinhoti, specifically the Pinhoti.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And now with the people that come in, tell us what you do at the Outdoor Center. What are you doing for these people?
So the Outdoor Center, we're a hostel. A lot of people in the U.S. don't know what a hostel is, but it's a low-cost place for travelers.
Okay.
We specifically focus on the Pinhoti Trail. So we have a bunk room that you can sleep in. We have tent space out back, a fire ring, long-term parking, but we also have laundry and shower and kitchen. We have a little storefront. And hikers will come through, stay with us, get resupplied, get refreshed, and get them back on the trail.
And now you also help provide shuttle service and things like that for these hikers?
We do. We shuttle service. Like if you want to do a section hike or a day hike, we'll go to the airport and do pickups. We go as far as the North Terminus up in North Georgia, pick up and bring them back to our place. So yeah, and we do logistics and planning. We love to just help get people out on the trails.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
And so you've got such a great system for people coming in from all over. Where do people usually come from? I know it's all over, but where?
We do. It is all over. I've seen in the last couple of years a lot of people from Mississippi.
Okay.
They claim that there's nowhere to hike in Mississippi, and they always used to go to at least North Georgia on the AT or Tennessee. And when they found out about the Pinhoti, it's a lot closer to them. They don't have to deal with Atlanta traffic, so they'll come to the Pinhoti, and we see a lot from Mississippi. But I tell you what, we have folks that come every year from Ohio. We've had almost every state show up. It's just simply amazing.
Now, where's the furthest away you've had internationally somebody come?
That's a good question. I'd have to probably France.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have such a beautiful area to hike, and it's nice that people are realizing that and coming and enjoying the trail and enjoying Sylacauga too.
Absolutely, and people show up to hike and they don't realize that Alabama has mountains. They think of Alabama as maybe farmland or even the beach down south, and maybe they see long country roads online or something. It's just dirt roads. Yeah. But we have some mountains, and
you hit that middle part of the state, and it really changes terrain.
It does change. So Flag Mountain is where the mountains begin. It's the first, the southernmost Appalachian mountain to reach 1,000 feet.
Oh, really?
So
I didn't know that.
When the hikers come out of Florida, when they're hiking up from Florida, it's pretty much flat till you get to our section of the mountains, and Flag Mountain, they start climbing.
Now we have so many areas that people come from all over, of course, what we've been talking about. But what do local people need to know about it? Like, what are your favorite places? Where can you link into the trail? What are some good day hikes and things that we can do?
Yeah, local here to Sylacauga, there's several places you can access the trail that are very close by. Flag Mountain is a great place to start. You can drive to the top of Flag Mountain, so you can start at the top. There are some challenging hikes over there. It's beautiful scenery that you can climb the tower, see the cabins that the CCC built back in the 30s. But near to town, we've got a trailhead called Trammell Trailhead. It's out 148.
Okay.
If you go a little further down 148, you can hit Bulls Gap. The trail's right there on the highway, and you can go either direction and go for a great day hike. Call us. We can help you plan something. We don't charge for stuff like that. We just want to help people get on trail, learn what's around here, and enjoy it, and see what folks are coming from all over the world to see.
I know. It's amazing the different things that we have here in town that people do come from all over, not just the trail, but like we talked about the Marble Festival right now.
Yep.
And interestingly, our sculptor that's here this time loves to hike, so I'm going to see if we can get her out on the Pinhoti.
We have some beautiful trails to hike.
Now, tell me, I was tying it in with dogs. Do a lot of your people travel with their pets and bring dogs with them to hike? Or?
We do see a good number of dogs, and we are pet friendly. My only rule is I get to pet them. So
that's not a bad rule.
We love pets, and you might encounter some dogs on the trail. Some people don't like that, but in Alabama, you're going to see some dogs, and for the most part, they're very friendly, and we get to pet them. But dogs come and stay, and we see some dogs that travel thousands of miles with their companions.
I bet that's the life. They enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So they can stay at the hostel with their parents.
Yeah, as long as you can control your dog and it's a nice dog and everything like that. Yeah, we have dogs that sleep in the beds, and stay on the floors and enjoy that. We have a couple acres where they can run and play. So.
And your transports that you do for people, you're fine if people have dogs
absolutely.
as well with that?
Yep.
Now, tell me more with rules on the trail. Are there any rules concerning dogs? Do they have to be leashed? Do they need to be leashed? What?
Not on the Pinhoti. We don't have any rules concerning it. I mean, obviously you want to be able to control your dog.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to encounter out there. Deer, turkey, other dogs, people. So just be mindful of that. We see some dogs that are very well behaved and not on a leash, and but there's no rules. Further you get up the Appalachians, like the Smokies, they don't allow dogs at all. So if you're going all the way to Maine, just be mindful of things like that.
But there'll be patches of the trail where you can't have your dog. Okay.
Right.
Now, you were talking to me, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities. So we're talking about local people being able to enjoy the trail. Well, what are some of the volunteer opportunities for us to do?
So if you want to get involved anything in the trail, come see us, give us a call, or text us. Our number is 205-202-9525, and we can plug you in. We always have volunteer opportunities.
Yeah.
So we're really involved in the hiking community through trail maintainers. So we're always putting together maintenance events. We have a big one coming up in the first weekend in May, where we're doing a lot of blazing in Georgia.
Okay.
And we'll shift over to Alabama. So there's going to be a big event for that, where we're blazing the whole trail. The pool, we call it Pool Party Blue, Pinhoti Blue. And so that's a big one. We also sponsor and help run some races on the Pinhotis.
Because you got one coming up, correct?
We got one coming up April 12th through the 16th. It's a 200-mile run on the Pinhoti.
That's crazy.
It starts in Dalton and it's going to end in Cheehaw.
Okay.
And it's a multi-day event, and we would love some volunteers to come help us. We're setting up an aid station at Pine Glen Campground, which is just north of Heflin.
Okay, gotcha.
And we'll be there for several days. If you want to help, come see what it's about, feed the hikers as they come through, maybe do some, help them get reset, maybe rest. We cook for them, make sure they have liquids, and send them on.
Now, with something like that, do people come and camp and just stay there at the aid station and help the whole time?
We'll be camping for several days. If you want to come out for a day or half a day, or if you want to stay the night, that's fine. Anything. We'd love to have volunteers. And we're doing a backpacking 101 class.
Okay.
And we have volunteer instructors. So once, if you're experienced and you have been out on the trails, and you come and hang out with us, and we'll plug you into a position there and teach classes.
Well, that's great. And you got one coming up, and you still have space, right?
We do. We have some space. It's the end of April. So, if you're interested, let us know real quick, and we can get you plugged in. It's a full weekend, and you come in Friday night, meet everybody. Saturday's all day of classes, and you learn pretty much anything you need to know to get comfortable to go out. This is our 4th year, and it's been very successful. Okay. Then you plan your own trip, and a couple weeks later, everybody goes out on a trip.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know it's always so busy that there's usually not space, but people can know ahead of time and get on that list and get in there for those classes. Now let's circle back around, because you were talking about blazing the trail in Georgia. Let's explain that for people who don't understand what that meant or what's happening with the Pinhoti and the Georgia Trail.
So the way the Pinhoti grew, Alabama was blazed blue, which the paint color on the trees. Georgia was blazed white.
And those are markers for you to know that you're on the trail.
You're on the trail, and it indicates turns and things like that. So for whatever reason, nobody ever wanted to make them the same color.
Okay.
We've been working with all the agencies and entities and landowners and clubs, and we finally have a consensus. We're going to go blue all the way through.
Okay.
So that's going to happen the May 4th weekend.
Okay.
And we're going to put together a crew. It's about 175 miles in Georgia, and we're going to try to do it in one weekend. Okay. So that's 175 miles both directions. You got to do both sides for northbound and southbound hikers. So we're going to try to knock it out. Hopefully, it looks like we have enough volunteers to put together teams. If you want to join a team, let us know. We can plug you in. We definitely could use the help. We're going to fund everything as far as materials. We're getting donations. We're working with companies, and people are donating money now. So we're going to be buying all the paint and the brushes and everything you need.
Well, that's great.
We need drivers. We need helpers, scrapers, painters. let us know and we can plug you in. It's going to be a great thing to kind of bring the trail together. It's bringing a lot of recognition to, the unity of the Georgia. It's always been kind of the Georgia Pinhoti and the Alabama Pinhoti, but we're going to just
now it's just going to be the Pinhoti.
Pinhoti. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you for coming on the show today, and make sure to get in touch with Nathan or Kim Wright and find out volunteer opportunities. There's plenty out there, and it sounds like you pretty much always have something people can be doing to volunteer for the Pinhoti. And don't forget to come out to the Marble Festival this week, and also come out to the Sylacauga Animal Shelter. We need all the help we can get. And if you're interested in fostering, just contact the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, or you can also contact the shelter, and we can get you all set up with supplies and ready to go. And make sure to come out and meet our pet of the week too. Sugar needs a home. And we'll have more Daybreak after these messages. Thanks for joining us.